Hoi hoi, it's louisity again, and for this video, we have again another book haul! Hoorah! So, it's been a while since I had a book haul, and I'm gonna have to tell you that I have acquired kind of a handful of books, kind of, a little bit more than I usually do since the last haul that I had. So this book haul would be, comprised of random purchases, some presents, and a book that I bought during Manila International Book Fair. So yes, I spent a little bit. I'm going to try to be in a book buying ban after this, after Manila International Book Fair. However, that might be broken should I see a book that I really want to acquire. So we'll see about that, but without further ado, let us proceed with the book haul. Let me begin first with my random purchases, starting with a book that I acquired through Books From Us Philippines. Shout out to you, BFUPH. I'll be putting the link of their Facebook page down below, so if you would like to, inquire, feel free to message them. Now, y'all know I've been looking for this book for a while, and I thought because I have an EGC or a voucher from them, or an e-voucher that I won more than a year ago, I decided to, acquire this book through them, and it arrived finally around, I think, May or June, if I recall correctly. So I'm happy that it did, because that means now I can start with the Burning series, and I'm talking about Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. Now this is obviously from the title, it has dragons, and it is an epic fantasy, which is kind of out of my comfort zone, but definitely something that I would like to dive into. A book that could be suitable for the lalaki books, I love doing that, whenever I, pick that prompt. And yeah, I love the cover. It's color brown. Y'all know I love the brown cover. And I'm just happy that, I finally acquired it, and that I can now jumpstart. That I bought the sequel of this one through Big Bad Wolf, which I kind of took a chance because I saw it is a little bit cheaper than the usual, so I decided to buy that, and just maybe one day I would be able to buy the first book, and finally I did. So thank you so much, Books From Us Philippines. Yeah, I kind of tend to do that. I would buy a book that is let's say a sequel, or for example, I would buy the third book, and then I haven't I don't own the second book yet, which you will find out later on through this book haul. So I'm definitely excited to read this. Hopefully I get to read this soon. Hoorah! Love the cover. It's color brown. I love it. Yeah. The next couple of books that I'm about to talk about, I believe I used some EGCs, which I won, or I was able to redeem at work. So yes, and yeah, finally I have a book by Claire Betita de Guzman, which is Sudden Superstar. Now this is the book that was in my Goodreads want to read list. This was the first book that I added, and fortunately I found it in the fully booked branch that I decided to redeem my EGC, and I found it, and I was okay, let me acquire it. I mean, I met Claire, and she's nice, she's sweet. I can link down the vlog where I met her personally, so feel free to check that out. And yes, I'm definitely excited to read this one and really dive into her books. I think in terms of adult contemporary or general fiction, I enjoy those, so hopefully I get to enjoy hers as well. And the next one that I also redeemed, now during the first time that I saw this in the bookstore and fully booked, I tended not to buy it because I felt I was contemplating, should I own this or not. It wasn't really in my radar to own, and I know this author through the Book Chica's Facebook live show that I had, and even before the Facebook live show, I've seen her around somewhere, I think probably like one of my bookish, fellow bookish content creator folks like posted their book or something, and that's how I discovered it. All those like pages about Filipino authors, which is amazing. I what you call this, thought about like, should I own this? And then the time that I returned, I think it was like weeks later or a month later, I still saw it there. So I thought it would be great to redeem it, maybe because it is meant for me. This is kind of like deja vu with the Amari first two books, the Supernatural Investigations first two books in that series, I should say. So I'm talking about the Serpent Rider by Isabel Magnadino. So I am definitely excited to read this. According to her, it is a standalone fantasy, so I'm not going to get caught up about like, hey, will I be able to collect like the next books in the series? And if in case this will have a sequel, well, I would, my brain might not treat it like a series as itself. It's just the way that my brain sometimes works. But anyway, that's another story for another day. But at the moment, it's a standalone, and I'm definitely excited to like read this one. And Isabel is also sweet, based on the live show that she had with Book Chicas. So yeah. Up next is something that I randomly found in National Bookstore's SM City Bikutan branch, and I feel bittersweet because, I am gonna be missing, going through these narratives, these books, this story, but I'm just glad that I get to, check a box or tick a box, and like one of the series I already finished, and hopefully that I would love, and that would be Moy Moy Lumboy at ang Ugat na Propesya, the last book in the Moy Moy Lumboy series. Y'all know how much I've enjoyed the series so far. I'm raving about it. And yes, finally going to be reaching to the end. I'm going to miss my experiences with the adventures with Moy Moy Lumboy. And finally, I'll feel accomplished in reading or finishing another series. So I'm glad that I found this randomly in SM City Bikutan's National Bookstore, and yeah, hopefully I get to enjoy them. So excited, we're gonna dive in. This next one is something that I randomly found when I visited Podium's bookstores, and you know what? This isn't exactly the book from the author that I initially wanted to acquire or thinking about acquiring, but I thought I don't see this anywhere. I haven't seen this book at all being sold, whether in other branches of National Bookstore or even in Fully Book. So I decided, I don't really go to Podium a lot, and I want to make the most out of it. So I decided to purchase Bud Not Buddy by Christopher Paul Curtis. It is an award-winning book based on the medals, and it's just great to see books by Black authors being sold more here in the Philippines, as well as you get to see books written by Black authors before the 2020s or even before the 2010s, kind of like those award-winning those books with medals, and basically something that was published a long time ago, or not really too long, but I believe this was published before the year 2000, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, just pretty much before the internet became kind of a thing, for a lot of countries. But I'm just happy to see this one, and I'm just really proud when I get to see books by Black authors being sold in the bookstores here in the Philippines, because honestly I don't see it a lot. Whenever I see people of color works, it's usually the East Asians and Filipino books, which it's amazing also to read them and them being sold, as well as people coming from other backgrounds as well. So yeah, I'm definitely eager to read this, and hopefully I get to enjoy this, and I'm getting the vibes it's going to be profound. So yeah. Now this next book I decided to buy because it is coming from one of my colleagues, and as a small/independent content creator myself, I want to support my colleague who is an independent author, which is amazing. And I hope that you get to enjoy her book. Now, especially for those people that are looking for works by Filipino authors that are, not as popular compared to some that are out there, let's give Unlovable, Broken But Bold by Ashera Generoso like a chance. So this is a book written by my colleague, and I'm definitely looking forward to read it. Beautiful art, by the way. Beautiful cover. And I wanted to do like an unboxing of this one because this arrived like in some sort of a book box. But y'all know me, I want to ensure that, I get the book. Like, I get the book in its fine condition, and I'm happy that I did. So I don't want to like fake like an unboxing. I was contemplating if I'm going to be doing any sort of unboxing, but I decided, what, I'll just open it and just include it in this book haul. So who knows, maybe in the future I'll do some unboxing, especially if it is what I expect to receive. You probably know what I think, and yeah, hopefully you understand what I mean. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to read this one. So definitely from the title itself, I'm like thinking, will it answer my question, how to love people that are unlovable and then at the same time broken? Okay, so I'll jump first with my MIBF purchase, my MIBF 2025 purchase. Now, I came to MIBF having like books in mind that I wanted to buy, and unfortunately they weren't there, so that's a bit of a bummer. However, I saw this like table where there were like, books with cats on the cover, those, Japanese translated works, and I thought of like, which one among these should I pick? I was contemplating of buying Cat Who Saved the Books. However, I know that has a sequel, so that's again another thing that I have to think about, like when can I own? And at the same time, I'm kind of on a tight budget. At the time, I was kind of like being, financially considerate. I mean, at the moment, because I knew that I bought many books, as you can see in like the previous clips. So I was like, I need to tone down a little bit in terms of purchasing. And yeah, I kind of like wanted to, manage my money a little bit, I mean, I always do it. I want to continue doing that, and I'll just give in. So I was like thinking, which one should I buy, like really carefully. And then I saw like the Kamogawa Food Detectives, but they were like in hardcover. I was like hoping to buy them in paperback. And even if I consider buying them in hardcovers, I was like, I would need to buy like the second one. And I don't know how many books will this series be, so I might have those things again about like having the difficulty to acquire like the rest of them. So I don't want to have that problem at the moment, but who knows, maybe one day I can buy like a set or something and I would be able to acquire that. So I ended up buying What Are You Looking For Is in the Library by Michiko Aoyama. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I mispronounce the name. And there's a cat, and I don't think I have a book yet that is, about like books, or like about a library, at least from what I remember, from what I own. So I thought like this could be great, and as far as I know, this is a standalone. So I mean, it is going to be a standalone in my brain. And then also, yeah, so I won't have that problem of thinking about whether, how am I going to be acquiring like the succeeding books in the series. That's like the challenge of, collecting book series or books in a series. And let me check out how this looks like without the dust jacket for a minute. So this is, it's just like plain. Like it looks plain without the dust jacket. And then there's the spine. Simple. Like really simple. So let me just, I don't really remove dust jackets a lot in my book haul videos because y'all know I buy a lot of paperbacks because they're more affordable for somebody like me. Or usually they're like, they are in like some sort of a plastic, they're wrapped in plastic, whether it's cling wrap or, like plastic covers. So yeah, I'm happy that I purchased this, and hopefully I get to enjoy this with the rest of the books that I have with cats on the cover. I have Before the Coffee Gets Cold and like the Morisaki Bookshop books, if you've already watched, my previous book hauls. Up next are random purchases, and I'd have to say that this is fate, because finally I was able to find them, and I didn't want to miss the chance. I know how difficult to buy these books, and when I saw them and fully booked in different branches, I was like, you know what, I gotta acquire them. So I'm talking about Room to Dream and Key Player by the same author, Kelly Yang. Y'all know I love Front Desk, and I look forward to read more books in the series. I haven't read Three Keys, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to try to move forward with the series. I'm going to continue purchasing because, like I said, it's difficult to buy them. And when I saw, these like books, and fully booked Alabama Town Center branch, I was like, they are mine. They're going to be mine. I was like, giggling in the store, literally giggling. And I was like, this is now mine. And I headed into the counter and got my like 10% discount for each book. So yeah, it's cool that I got them. And then in fully booked Gloriata branch, I was like thinking if I should buy this right away, since I haven't read Three Keys, y'all. So I was like thinking, should I buy like the succeeding books? Like, should I continue like collecting them? And I was like, if I come back and I still see it, then that means I gotta buy it. And fortunately, they even have like all of the books in the series when I came back, and they have like 2 copies or like 2 stocks in that branch, so in fully booked Gloriata branch. So I decided to move forward and buy Top Story by Kelly Yang. So I have books 3, let me just raise them, 4 and 5, happy kiddo right here, the kiddo at heart. And finally, let us proceed with the gifts that I got, the birthday gifts, the presents that I got. Thank you so much to my colleagues. So yeah. Oh, I'm not about to do an outro yet. The way that I said thank you super much. Anyway, let's proceed. So I got birthday gifts, and I appreciate my colleagues so much for all the efforts for y'all, picking and buying these for me. Forever grateful. So yeah, the first one would be the sequel for Finally Seen, and you know that I enjoy that one. So I'm talking about Finally Heard by Kelly Yang. And then here's the book where I told you the previous clip wherein I was trying to, try and call this like, even if there are like books in the series that I haven't like read yet, but I would like buy like the next one, so it's kind of like a skip, and I was also thinking that it might be hard to acquire this like book in the future. So when I saw this, when my colleague asked me like which books do I want to buy, I decided to tell them that I want to buy this, which is the 3rd book in like the Gifted Clan series, which is Last Fallen Realm by Grace Kim. Now I have to make an effort of looking or buying or acquiring like the 2nd book, which is The Last Fallen Moon, and I hope to buy it soon so that I can move forward with the series. This might stick a little longer, just kind of like the 2nd book in the Burning series by Evan Winter. So yeah, Fires of Vengeance, I believe, is the title. So yeah, this might stick around to the unread pile because it's a 3rd book, but I don't regret it. You will be read for sure. Let's just hope and pray that the 2nd book in the series will be available in the Philippines or maybe I might do some special, ordering or special purchasing of that one. And then the other one is it was really hard to choose, and because I'm kind of like in the Rick Riordan Presents imprint kind of mood, I decided to buy, oops, oh my gosh, I hope I didn't ruin it. It's not, it's still pretty good. It's safe. Anyway, so I'm talking about Winston Chu versus the Whimsies by Stacey Lee. Now, hopefully I get to enjoy this, book in the Rick Riordan Presents imprint. And yeah, finally I have a copy, and I'm looking forward to buy like the second book of the series. It's kind of like I see it in the bookstores, but I'm not sure if I really want to buy it yet. Time will tell, and hopefully, if it is meant for me to be owned at a certain time, it will be owned by me for sure, y'all. So those are the books that I bought recently. I'm not going to be holding them because they might fall off and I don't want to ruin them. I don't think I have the strength to hold all of them, so I'm just going to be, having this little voiceover clip. Now, feel free to comment down below, a book that you recently bought, or the books that you recently bought, or maybe if you did not buy any books recently, feel free to comment down below, the book that is on top of your mind. If you've made it this far, leave a trumpet emoji, and I hope you folks liked this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, click that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon somewhere down there to keep yourselves posted about my videos. And also put down links and handles of my social media accounts, so feel free to check me out and follow me there and support me there as well. As always, thank you so much for watching. Always be thankful and unleash the reader in you. Bye, y'all.